started fitting into myself. I usually do that, but this time it's completely different because I went front, back, and then started swirling, you know.
Yeah, like a spiral.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like a spiral going up and then a spiral coming back into yourself. That I call it the anchoring. It is literally anchoring your soul, pulling your soul into your heart.
Yeah, for sure. Valerie, hello, Valerie. She's in the Zoom room.
We are moving towards all telepathy. Then you have to be more aware. Yeah, because you're telepathic. Once you're telepathic with your own soul, you know, once your own soul is seated in your heart, then you're telepathic to everyone's energy because they are you. So you get the feeling of them straight away within your body because you're aware of yourself. Because they are you.
That's right. And it'd be a good idea if everyone, I mean, we're going to be forced to own up to stuff because, you know, this telepathy, it's going to be kind of like, you know, messing your drawers in public.
There's nowhere to hide.
That's right. You're going to be like
to everyone. There's nowhere to hide when you sat within yourself. You know, because you can't lie to yourself in this state of absolute, you know, surrender to one's feelings. Then you cannot deny jack shit.
That's right.
It makes you, it physically makes you react. You come out in cold sores if you tell a lie, or even if you don't face the truth. You literally do. Once your body is within its own center, your mind, I mean, is within your own center, then reality slaps you because it's an energetic wave and it just slaps you back if you're not at the point of your own awareness. You can't.
Yeah. Those old games of like, you know, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Well,
I didn't mean it like that.
Well, it's the way you said it.
Yeah.
Or just that game, that shell game of I didn't say that. You know.
Well, it is a big
game. It is, but that whole thing's over, man. It's just an exercise in futility, and that's just, you know, what Morgan talks about with don't hit the tennis ball back.
Like it's frequency. It's like using a CD or when you can just download the song for nothing, you know.
Yeah.
We can't buy into anything that isn't real when we know it isn't real.
Yeah, I tell you, what's been a big deal for me is I've talked about it too, but because, you know, the higher you go, the more your ass shows. You know what I mean? And the higher our soul goes on a personal level, the higher your ego goes. And so
you literally, Todd, you become a walking wound.
Yeah.
You really are a walking wound, and other souls can walk into you, and it's your knowing that transcends them into you. They become a point of where they're not relevant anymore. And I mean that by they can't really affect you. Nothing affects me. Nobody affects me anymore because I give them space to be. I'm not going to question them, even if they're sat there doing something that the old Linda would think that was wrong. This person now that I've become doesn't class anything as wrong. So there's nothing that anyone can say or do.
Right.
Because they have absolute freedom for them.
Well, yeah, and that's why I've got to the point where I'd rather just say nothing, you know. And it's actually the best thing I can do for myself, which means it's going to parlay into the external, which is other people. But I purposely pull up certain people, you know, in my head or on the news feed during the day just to check myself. These are people that might have attacked me, which isn't an attack. I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean. Or people that just make me uncomfortable or by the things they say or with the energy they represent, because I know that's me. And what's the best way for me to clear that is to not say, oh, I'm going to put up a wall and my boundaries are up and they can't enter my space. You know, it's really, you know, facing what is a fear, right? What's the scary thing about me pulling up, you know, Joe Smith, who makes me uncomfortable in my head until I get to a point where I'm looking at that mirror of me the way I would look at myself.
It's like sitting on a bed of nails. If you ask any guru, you know, anything that causes us discomfort, all we have to do is sit inside it. Till the discomfort goes, you get used to the discomfort. Yeah. The discomfort is just, you know, like itchy blanket. I used to call it my itchy blanket stage, where I didn't like the feeling inside me. That was their frequency. But I learned, it was only from April that I've learned, and it was when I took my last DMT. I got ripped out of my body. I didn't have an ego. And I completely, when I came back into the body in Arizona, I completely knew within 2 weeks how I could change it, how I could deal with this going back into my body. And that's all it is. It's taking their aspects into my body. And it's this, and it can be quite discomforting when you first start doing it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not your frequency, but instead of shunning another soul away, which we shouldn't do, we have to take them in and transcend their frequency and purify it within our heart, because they are us, you know. And that's the hardest part to do. That's the only thing we should be learning to do.
Well, that's the thing, is so much of the stuff, you can say it, or you can hear it, you can repeat it, you can read it, and some of this stuff goes back thousands of years, right? I mean,
of course it does. And all it is just, it's learning how to deal with your own feelings. That is it. We can read millions of books. We can follow every spiritual guru, go with every teacher, every pupil. All it boils down to is owning your own feelings and not projecting them onto somebody else.
Yeah. And the thing is, you can even, like, I've got a partner, obviously, so I might have an advantage, but even if I have a conversation with her,
see, I don't think that's an advantage. I think that's a disadvantage. I think it's easier to do on your own. I really do.
Well,
Because
that's what whether it is or it isn't. Yeah, whether it is or it isn't,
Well, that is a personal choice, isn't it?
Yeah, but what I was going to say is, whether it is or it isn't, I could talk to Morgan all day long, all night long. But in my universe, it's me in the universe. It's mano y mano, and I could tell anyone anything I want outside of me. But it's here in the arena with the universe, and the universe, there's no BS. And that's what I'm trying to get at, is you can say it, you can read it, you can hear it,
you can walk it,
but only you can do it. And that's
because we all do it in our own individual way. This is why I've been I've unfollowed everyone from April. I just put links with everything, everyone. I've stopped doing lives. I don't really do lives a lot. I did one the other day.
No more lives on the crown or in your undies on the bed.
I got to the point where I didn't need to do anything. I don't need to speak. I don't need to communicate. I'm just in a state, Todd, of absolute contentment and bliss. I have never had this state before, ever. I don't even have thoughts.
But I can relate to you, because my personality intertwines with yours, because I can get that, sometimes that pendulum's got to swing like that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's okay, because to me, pushing the envelope and the extremes, and that's both the wild and reckless, and but also the dark and deep. I think to me that's the real juice of living, or has been for me. Yeah.
Well, I cover everything. I don't think it would be easier for me to tell you what I haven't done than what I have done, because I forgot what I have done.
The list would be shorter. Me too.
Seriously, I've done everything. I've tried everything. I'm not one of them people that says, don't do that, it's bad for you. Don't do this, it's bad. I say, do everything, because there's no death. Why would you ever want to not try anything? You must try everything, And I'm one of them. If anyone would offer to do something that would be out there, I would be the first with my hand up. I will always. I would never hold back from anything. When I first started, the last couple of weeks, I've been transcending from the body and going into the trees and the clouds and taking myself out of my body. And that's where coming back into my body, because it was so heavy and so dense, and all the other selves were so dense at that point, that I preferred to stay out of the body. And I didn't go, which was really interesting, Todd, because my being now remembers that state from when it took the DMT. It goes straight to that point. It's like the end of my finger touches source, gives me a massive big rush, and I stay in, like, it looks, because if I look for, it's like I'm looking through my chin and I look out the top of my head, and then I start coming through the crown, and all I see, it looks like condensed black clouds, and I go into the energy, and then your star systems are at the side of you. So I'm like looking, and the star systems are at the side of me, but I'm the one that's looking through the energy. It's like I'm at the front of the matter, but I'm moving so fast that I can't connect with anything that's at the back of me. So I stay there a lot. It's absolute bliss. There's no thought there. There's no. It's just the feeling of pure. It's dark, but it's pure light. And I know when I've come back into the body and I've said, "Where is that?" And it said, "You right in your core." That's why you see the light at the sides, but you're the one that's looking through it. Yeah, so it's really interesting that I can get.
And then when you come back in and anchor,
I have all the beams then like pulling me back. They don't pull me back. They help me anchor back in. They've shown me, and these beings, they have no body. They've got no body, but they can communicate with me by just telling me what to do. They come into my mind. Yeah, and then they tell me how to anchor back in, and they've told me to, like, imagine I've got hold of my own DNA, and I'm pushing, like you do on a vine. That's the way I come back into my body, or else I can't come back in.
But obviously, you come back into the body elevated with wider awareness.
Really clear.
How does it? Yeah.
I'm really, really clear, and it takes me about a few hours. I just lie there feeling it, but it takes me a few hours for my brain to start like functioning again, and then Linda will start questioning, oh, what's happened there, what's done there. But usually I'm at such a calm state, and my energy is so, you see, the lighter your energy is, Todd, the heavier your body feels. So it takes a while. You're so tired, seriously so tired. So I just lie there in just a state of, it's like the end of an orgasm, when you've just come and you're really, really like tired but content. It's exactly the same feeling. I call it a reverse orgasm now, because it just feels like the end of an orgasm, though, when you've just, but you can't move. Your body's like, it goes through your back. You go through your back of your head when you go up out the top, but you go through the back. And when you're coming into the body, the back feels like it's still wide open, and your body feels very, very, very heavy. It's the heaviest thing to go back into. It takes me a while, to start moving. So I tend to only do it when I'm on my own. Yeah. Like I have to do it when I'm on my own. And I'm on my own a lot. For 4 weeks, I couldn't move out the house, Todd. I had like a proper breakdown again. It was like my first breakdown, but it was the reverse of it.
What do you mean?
It was really interesting. Well, my other breakdown was like, I didn't know where I was. So they had to section me. And I thought everyone was dead and I was dead. But this time, I knew there was a death. But it was a complete knowing of what was going to happen. And then I was told that I had to strip back. My mouth exploded in cold sores. All inside my mouth, all my throat was ulcerated. I really purged the head and my
when was
body
this?
Purged. This was about 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
And my body just exploded. It was like my face. I went outside. My skin went really sensitive because I wasn't moving out.
I remember seeing a picture of you, and you got really burnt.
Yeah, I was all burned, and my skin just peeled completely off my face. I was just told, rub your face, put coconut and salt on it, Himalayan salt, and just rub it. And I just kept doing it, and then it just fell off after 2 days. How quick, when you go through this last change, when you go in your heart space, how quick your body transforms is absolutely unbelievable. It's a day. It's maybe 1 day, 2 days. You cut your finger, 2 days later, it's healed. Everything, my hair has grew at an unbelievable rate. Anything that I have on me that's a blemish or anything, it's gone with the next day. My awareness is quicker than the healing.
Yeah. Wow.
Your awareness is your cellular change. And when your heart when you're going into the main heart, you get pains. It's like a heart attack. Behind your breast will really hurt as the back chamber's open. And you do feel like your body's going into a bigger body. I even noticed the other day that my rings have started falling off, probably because you can't eat. When you're going into heart, you don't eat food because your frequency goes that high that you feel sick. Food isn't good enough energy for you. Your body will reject it. So usually you're on water, fruit, a little bit of fruit you can deal with, but solids, I couldn't eat for weeks. Wow. So I've lost a little bit of weight in my fingers. Your stomach will swell up like your solar plexus really flushes. You've got to, at this stage, Todd, before you get in your heart, a lot of people will get, before they get it, they'll have complete reality collapse. And I mean complete. Your money will be removed, every penny, your house, your security, all security has got to be removed, because it's the state where your reality is matching your state of being, because you're giving it, like when you surrender yourself to your heart, then you don't exist, so neither does your reality. Materialistic, all the materialistic stuff will mean nothing, absolutely nothing. So you won't care. I became homeless and I wasn't bothered. I honestly wasn't bothered. It didn't bother me. I knew that it was going to come. I expected it. So when it came, I was okay with it. But as soon as I went into my heart, within a couple of days, I started getting letters through my door. Everything started just coming back together really quick. It's like a jigsaw. So it explodes just before, when your root starts clearing, and then you'll get all traumas or bad memories. You do your full life review just before, as soon as you've cleared your sacred, that's your life review. And then you'll go through everything from when you was a baby up until the stage where you're at now. And then you'll get the duality. You'll visit every single decade through your spine, and you can feel it working up. You start burping with it. When it's the truth, you'll burp. And then it shows you the dual meaning of it. Once you've got the meaning, you'll show the emotion to it. So if it's in the root, you'll show fear and things like this. And then you release it into your sacred. That'll show you another memory. And then when you're going into heart, it'll show you the dual meaning of it. You will ask yourself, I physically asked myself, what am I being shown? Is that a healing? Was that a memory? And your own self will go, your higher self will go, yes, this is a memory. My higher self has got a male voice, which is interesting. And he was saying, yes, remember this, remember that, remember this. And I was like, oh, feeling it. Then it was showing me why I had to do that from a past life. It was a karmic thing with me. So it was showing me where I originally got this fear from. And some of it wasn't from this life, but I brought it into me. There was an age 4 that I got rid of in the desert. I was shown that I've been entering a body at the age of 4 and dying at the age of 4 for nearly, it showed me like up to, I think it was 600 to 800 years. I've been entering a body age 4, dying at age 4. But I couldn't understand, because I was a child, I was 4. When I left the body, it was in traumatic circumstances, and it showed me the memory. And I was raped and murdered when I was at age 4. And that's when I was here. This time I died when I was age 4, but that was to try and clear it, because I knew I was going to clear it in this life. You know what you're going to do when you come into this life. It's already prepped. Yeah. Already prepped.
So this whole evolution, this whole, journey that you're describing, what's the point? Where does it lead? And I say this,
we cannot manifest only on Earth. It's the one planet where you are literally living in your own world. You're manifesting that. The trees, the leaves, the animals, the waterfalls, the water, the moon, the sun, they're all manifestations of us, of our energy. You don't do it. When we pass and we leave the physical body, we can't create physicality. There's no physicality only in the 3rd dimension. The 5th, the 6th, the 7th, there's no structure, Todd.
I get that.
To the 7th, there's no structure there. And even in the 5th is just, it looks like structure, but it isn't. So now I call it the eye of awareness. And I know when I'm doing it, I'll stare, and especially if I have a joint or anything like that, I'll stare at the leaves in the trees, and all of a sudden it comes together as just a shape, and then every leaf will have an eye in it. So then my awareness says, but it's really weird, it's in the trees, and the trees speak to my awareness and say, we're ready for your command. And by my thought, I can create shapes in the trees.
Yeah.
I can create, first it was a monkey, and then I was showing myself my monkey brain, but I totally understood it. And then I got bored with that. I went into how the mind works, and then I got bored with that. And then I was shown like, it was a dolphin. And then it showed me how the dolphins communicate, you know, the Atlantean type, but it's all just states of consciousness.
Yeah, no, I get that. My question.
We've already done it.
Huh?
We've already done it, you know, all them states we've already done.
Yeah, I get that. I absolutely get that. I absolutely get that. I don't want to go back. You know what I mean? I don't want to go back.
It's like it said to me, the place where you are, here's heaven. You don't die and go to heaven. You rebirthed into earth. That's your heaven. And it was showing me that we don't go to heaven. We are born into heaven.
Okay. Yeah.
Where you come from, you cannot get back to. It's like
that's
the original atom saying, "I'll get back to the original atom." It has to just keep rebirthing itself.
Yeah. That's what I was getting at. That was my question. My question is, as you're describing this personal journey, and as the individual goes, so goes the collective. It's like, what's the point? It's like the point. Well, yeah, I'm saying, and you just said it. I just want to restate it, and then you elaborate on it. But the point is, it's here. The point is, it's us. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to go anywhere. We were on a show last night with a really interesting couple of people, and they were talking to us, and they were talking about, there was a question about, how much merit do you give to past lives? And our answer is really both the same, Morgan and I, which is, hey, the information comes in, past, future, parallel, whatever. It comes in, you integrate it, you absorb it, and you let it go. All I got is what I got. That's it. I can't prove that I came from anywhere a minute ago or past that, and I can't prove I'm going anywhere. All I can prove is where I'm at right now, who I'm with, what I do, what I love, and just keep aligning and pursuing that and expanding that. What else we got? So that's why I was asking you the question, which you answered. It's right here, right? I mean, that's the point.
It's like if somebody said to me, where would you like to go? And my answer would just be, I'm perfectly in the right place where I am right this second. Yeah. I don't want to go anywhere. I've never felt so. When you are seated in your soul, and that is your heart, your soul is your heart. When you're in your heart, you don't need to be anywhere. It doesn't matter where. I could be in Barbados. I'm sat in my living room. It doesn't matter where I am. I'm in full being. So, wherever, you don't want to go anywhere. Right. I just like plow along now, and where I am, I'm just totally present.
Yeah.
So every day and every person I speak to is a gift. They're a gift for me.
Yeah.
That's it, and that's all I've got. That is like my thing. I don't really need anyone. I don't need anything. I've already got everything I want, and everyone must get to that state. Because the more you question this energy, like I've always said, the more it's going to give you another question.
Well,
you have to get to a point where you're just so content with where you are that nothing else matters.
But I don't know. Maybe that's the rub. Maybe that's the little wild card variable in this particular dimension, if you want to call it that we created, which is there's always that little piece. There's always that little piece short of completion, so we can continue to expand. I don't know. It's an interesting.
I don't think we're ever complete, because I don't think we're meant to ever be complete. I think the word complete is totally. It's not real, because we're complete when we don't need. When we don't need to keep completing ourselves. If we're in a state where it's like sunbathing on a beach. You're not going to say, well, this isn't enough for me. I want to go and sunbathe on another beach, or go and sunbathe on another beach. You're just content with lying on a beach. It's all about what level of contentment that you want to stay in. You know, because this energy takes you, when you're in heart, and I have to keep saying that because I am, but when you're in heart, you're not really craving. You're not craving for anything. You just, my full being is just in full gratitude for being. I can't explain it any other way. I'm just, every night I honor every single soul. I go like that with my head. That's exactly what I do. And I honor every soul. And then I honor myself. I honor the full thing, you know. And that's it. I start my day with that, and I end my day with that. And I don't even notice my day. My days have gone, they're gone in a second. I don't dream no more, which is quite weird. And that's another thing, Todd. Once you awaken in the dream, you don't dream. You know, I don't dream. I've just not had a dream in ages.
So, or maybe you don't remember them. I mean, what is your being?
Well, I always usually remember my dreams.
I mean, these
are not like dreams. When I have a dream now, it's totally, I open my eyes and it's just like I've been in a meeting. I know where I've been and I know what I've done. And I'm not like the dreamer in the dream. I used to have a dream, and I don't know whether you noticed, dreams are never really in colour, are they? Even if they are, they're not really like dreaming here. And it's like now, though, I'm just here when I'm in a dream, but I'm not Linda in the dream. I'm the awareness of Linda. And then when I open my eyes, I know I'm not Linda here. It's very weird. Yeah, it's very weird to not have an attachment to the body, even though you love it. I love the body now, but I'm so aware I'm not the body. It's like I feel like I'm a prized car. I'm totally loving myself and touching myself and thinking, oh,
licking yourself.
Yeah, but I don't
even have to bathe anymore. Just make your tongue longer, and you don't even have to take a shower.
Hey, my tongue is pretty long. I'm telling you.
You know, I don't want to get off on a tangent or anything, but this always has intrigued me. When people talk about dreams, my dreams have very vivid color. And the other thing that I've always wondered about, sometimes in my dream, I'm looking out from here, you know, just like we do here.
It's weird, isn't it? You're the projector,
Yeah, and then other times I'm watching myself. So I'm like, okay, how does this shit work? You know?
I used to be able to watch myself, and I haven't done that in a long, long time. This state that you're going to go through, it'll take you when you're in route. And you'll notice, you know, now when you're in route. I know when I've gone into route, and it's no big thing. I just, you know, just love myself and pull myself back into the heart. But when you are in these stages of collapse, when you are really having identity stripping back, you'll take it. Every emotion we feel is a program. I didn't know this, but it is. I got to the fear program. I had to feel the full collective fear and why we feel fear, and then I had to go into compassion, love. Love was the last one, and I had to feel my own love in how big it is. And I threw up. It literally made me heave and made me cry and cry and cry. I didn't realize that I was love like that. You know, it really blew me away. Really did. I was like, oh, it was like I couldn't take any more in, and it was like being rammed into my body, into my heart. And I was going back and back and back and back. And then all of a sudden, because you don't breathe, when you're going in this collapse stage, when you're fully in out the first time, you can't breathe. It told me to take my breath and to emerge it through my head, but I didn't know how to do it. I couldn't understand it. And it was only when I went fully into heart that the breath, I noticed, oh yeah, the breath has gone. Your out breath goes that long that you forget to do the in breath. And you're right at the back of your breath. And then you see all these, it's like patterns, the like geographic shapes. You know, you strip back from the physical body. So then you're going into the shapes, and it takes you into all these shapes. And wherever you look, there's a program. It was really weird. There's like a program there, a program there, program there, and you can go in each one. And I went in shame, and shame makes us do it. Shame is only in the fear program, but it makes you do the things that all the empaths are the ones that will struggle with the shame. Because we put ourselves in everyone else's fate. Show me I was a dark worker. I'm here to purify sin and shame. That's why I had to go through so much.
But I mean, wouldn't that just
So
be
much bad.
wouldn't that just be another program? I mean, like you said, we
Yeah,
know
of course, it's all programs. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying to you. It is all programs.
Yeah.
And we have to download them programs to come into the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
We learn them. That's why we are here. That's why I say to people, don't shun your ego. You're here to identify with it. If you didn't have an ego, you wouldn't be able to function. You know, none of us would.
Well, you'd just be walking around like a, you know, our harmonic.
You'd be like a primal lizard. Sex, you know, but that is your primal. I don't know whether you've been through it at the moment, but you'll go through this primal stage as well. It's like we can be a lizard, and it's a sexual lizard usually. I went into this.
Well, I did have an encounter with
It's a
dragon
primal,
the other night.
really sexual primal urges that you go through and study it, and it's showing you how that's showing us our natural instincts, you know, to reproduce and stuff. So I went into that, I studied that for a little bit, and then I got bored there. I get very bored very easily. And then I went into another program. It showed me the program where the greys are. They've switched off all emotion. And it said you can go that eye where you can switch off the emotion. The human can do it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think that's I have a feeling that's the gift of this whole trip is the emotion. The emotion.
Well, that's why we're a human. That's why I've always said the human is the highest state of being.
Yeah.
Because we are consciousness doing everything within every way it can be done.
Yeah.
So the
now
third dimension is actually the highest state of being. I've always said it.
I agree. I think that what we perceive as the densest realm is the closest to source, closest to the.
Yes, it's heaven on earth. So it is the closest. It is actually spirit divine. That's what I was shown. We are spirit divine.
Absolutely.
And we are like the walkers of the earth, not understanding that we are we are the walking angels. And once we download our own full love and heal, and it's only this program, Todd, this program on earth that it's not even a matrix system, because there's other matrix systems we can go into. But this system, once you are in heart, once you're fully in heart, and it's only this life, our own conditioning from when we were kids that we've got to clear. And people say, well, it's too hard. It isn't. You've just got to accept it and feel the hurt. Once you're through the hurt and you're wading through all that trauma, then you get to the core, and that the healing's already there. You know, you've got to love yourself in that state when you really remember what you've been through.
Yeah.
We've all been through it, you know? So you've just got to love every part of yourself. And once you have, and you don't question nothing, then there's no other questions to ask. There's no other questions to another self, because you know that they've got to go through that process.
You know, I mean, I have the luxury of doing these shows, and the way this information, or the way that the shows come in with greater clarity, greater symmetry, greater synchronicity is incredible.
Yes.
There's a force that's not one person, not me, not Morgan, not you, it's just the way it happens, right? And I think of the last couple of days. So yesterday there was a guy, Patrick McCormick, that's been on a couple of times. He's been channeling an aspect since 1994, I think. A lot like a Bashar type, much more entertaining. Some of the stuff that he was coming out with, and this is where I was coming from. Listen to you. I had this thing in me where I'm like, I don't got to do anything. I don't need to do anything. You know what I mean? I mean, like, as soon as I hear that, I'm just like, I don't need to do anything. It stops my free flow. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because he started talking about, you know, what's going on energetically from multidimensional type of perspectives. I'll throw in real quick a show that happened last night where they said, what do you think do you choose when you die? Now, taking those two things into consideration, to further explain what he was talking about, is that we all choose our own dimension. That I kind of believe, for instance, if I follow or align or whatever you want to call it, that, hey, I'm going to stay in this body. I'm going to stay in this body, and I'm going to alter the reality and the capability and such of this body, which is then going to extrapolate into the external, because this is my world, you know. And he was basically talking about how we all go into our own dimension, you know. I don't know, it just really resonated. I can't explain it the way he did, but like we have total command, and
Of course we do.
and
That's what I call the I energy. That's my. You've just explained what I try. What you see, we all explain it differently because we see it differently. But the hive energy is your awareness. You can go anywhere with it, because it's shown me. This is a program. Everything you see, the trees, the buildings, us, we're all. It's not real. Once we and with the higher, the faster our frequency goes, that dissolves. You literally see it. I watched it when you took, you know, if you've took ayahuasca or you've took DMT, especially 5-MeO DMT, you literally watch it and that will not be there. It's like a speeding car. The faster it goes, its energy, it'll just disappear, it disperses. And your awareness controls what you see. The higher you go, the more you'll step into another dimension. It's just as easy as that.
Well, and I think that was the point I was trying to pull to the surface when you were talking about how you, at the beginning of the show, how you leave your body, because I totally relate. You know, I relate both with and without plant medicine, because I've done it both ways.
Yeah, I do, and I really do. My face, when I leave my body, my face distorts, and it happens through my chin. My chin will literally, it's the last place, because it's your face, I think, in my awareness. Your face is always the last mask to dissolve, and it literally goes like that. You know, it's hard to stay still and to be the one at the back, the awareness, to know that your face is distorting. And I literally can feel it. The other day, even though my hand was heavy, I lifted it up to feel, to see if it was happening. And my jaw was dropped and my lip was all like that. And I thought, Jesus Christ, it really is happening like that. I thought it was just in my mind, but it isn't. Your skin starts, your lips start tingling, the energy literally goes up into your head. And then the face will distort. And this is just the energy. It's come from your root, and it feels like a snake when it gets to your neck. Your awareness goes like that, because it can't keep it like that. So the awareness goes into like a cross, and that's your brain, and then it'll channel in the middle. And when the energy channels in the middle, it's come right up your chakra system, which is, you feel it through your spine. And then when it gets to your throat, it breaks. That's why your throat is so important. You cannot get into your heart if your throat isn't fully open. And it becomes like a snake head. You can feel the energy. It goes into both behind your ears. Your ears start itching. And these two chakras at the back of your ears, the meridians, the big, and they control either side of your brain, your pineal gland and your pituitary gland. And you can literally feel, it's like a cobra. It literally opens up like that. And then it'll pop through the top of your head. It is the weirdest feeling. And then you can't, thought then. You just, there's nothing to think about. That's why I was told so many ages ago I've got to get into this honoring state of honoring. You can't get into your crown unless you're honoring everything and honoring your state. And once you start honoring your state of being, then you're honoring every state of being. Because this is our truth center, and if this isn't speaking pure truth, it ain't going in the heart. It just won't.
That's what we were talking about. It does that. That's what we were talking about at the beginning of the show. It's going to be like you pooped your pants in public. At some point, because everything's.
Remember when I said you've got to start farting in public, you've got to start burping in public. The bodily functions, just the bodily functions. It's like, if someone come in my house and had a shit on my floor, Todd, I'd just go. I wouldn't say anything. It's really weird because, you're just in this state now of knowing that bodily functions are just bodily functions. There's no shame or attachment to these bodily functions. They're just bodily functions.
Yeah, true. Very true.
The mindset goes from shame and sin and guilt. This is only in root. I point into my head, but we think the mind is in the head, but it's not. It's there. It's just
there's no exception to the rule of not being ashamed, not being embarrassed, and you know what I mean. I mean, we were walking around in Eden when the whole thing started. We didn't have any clothes on.
no.
I mean,
That's
we didn't have porta potties.
No. No. But we didn't have anything that would take us away from our state of being. You know, there was no temptation. Nobody had big cars and big houses. The only thing that will take us into a place of judgment is if we're not happy with what we are feeling.
Yeah.
And if we're not complete in ourselves, we will always judge. It doesn't matter what we're judging, we're going to judge. Even if it's something on the television, you know, or something, somebody walking, everything you say is a state of judgment. Everything. Even a question, you're answering a question, it's a state of judgment because you have to give your opinion. But when you're in heart, you don't really care. There's a state of not caring because you know everything is so divinely timed, you know.
Yeah.
And every single person in my eyes has got divine breath. Not that I'll stand next to and smell it, but you know what I mean. Everyone speaks beautifully to me because I know that's their individual frequency, and that individual frequency is needed on this earth.
Yeah. So, what's on the agenda for you? You're going to be catching a flight anywhere anytime soon?
No more flying for me for a while. I'm just in the process. This is really weird.
I'm gonna hold you to that. So if it does come up, I'm
really
gonna remind you.
But for the moment, I'm really happy where I am.
There you go.
I spent a lot of money last year on flights there, flights there. I was just zooming all over the world. I spent thousands. But this year, I had a complete collapse. I'd all my money taken away from me. I had a couple of there wasn't bad things. I always say that, but nothing's bad. I had a couple of tests at the end. Before you go into the heart, you will be tested like won't understand these tests. It is like demons attacking you constantly. And it's only so you'll surrender. It's yourself, you know, when you lose your mind or you're losing your last self, then it's a state of the craziness kicks in your body, you know. And everything will just be removed from you. And that's the only way that you can test yourself. Because nobody else does that. Our awareness does that. And
I think there's
if we're ready. Are you finished playing the game? I was asked, are you ready? And I just said, yeah, I'm
ready. Surrender.
Yeah, I really did.
I think a lot, honestly, I think a lot of people have been going through that.
Yeah, of course they will.
If I go back to maybe the 20th of last month, around was it the solstice? I get them all confused. Yeah, solstice. I think, and there was a full moon right within a day or two. But that period, everything seemed to kind of like go into hyper, interdimensional, galactic, cosmic, you know, quantum stuff. I mean, and there was a lot of that. I think a lot of that stuff, like in a multidimensional, fast-paced way, people were going through, and I think still are. You know.
Yeah, they are. Everywhere. It's a quickening because when one person is in art and you've got one person in art, it's like 1,000 people around you that with pure energy. Todd, it's shown me like a beacon of energy. And that beacon of energy pulls you with the one then pulling all in the energy, not other people's frequency. You can be one person in a room when you're in art, and it doesn't matter if that room's got 10 people in. Your energy will be the main factor. Yeah. Your energy will be the strongest energy in that room, and I know this because I can see, and my friends say it, how my energy affects everyone. My energy has everyone just feeling really nice. Yeah. And they're so respectful, everyone, even the people that fell out of me a long time ago. I've been bumping into people, just started mingling now into people again. People are starting to visit me again. And every single one of them, Todd, are flowing beautifully. You affect them. They don't affect you. I have people coming up to me and sitting down next to me and saying, "Oh, are you?" And straight away they've got big smiles, you know, because you are really like a purified battery. You recharge them. Yeah. I don't have any bad thoughts. I never, ever have a bad thought. I couldn't tell you the last time I had a bad thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
And
how I got into my heart. I had to purify my thoughts for at least 6 months.
Yeah. And even those, like you were talking about, those that have fallen out or fallen away, you know.
They come back.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do. And when they come back, they usually, because you've allowed them to be, remember, if we give people just pure love without needing it back, without even wanting anything off them, if we love them the way we love ourselves, then that cannot, it can't go anywhere but as a good energy.
Yeah.
Because even if somebody's sat moaning to you and you think that they've got negative energy, if they are in your heart, it isn't the case.
Yeah.
You can't look at them without but with love.
Separation is separation.
Yes,
Separation,
because if
separation.
they're suffering, in my eyes, if they're being negative, they're suffering, they're not in the heart. So the only thing that I can do to them is give them pure love. And a smile breaks out in my heart and I say, it's all right, you're perfectly where you want to be. Do you want a hug? And usually they go, no. And I go, it's all right. And I'll make a joke. And then I usually have them laughing.
What's a nog?
A hug. A hug.
Oh, a nog. A hug?
Yeah.
Yeah, last thing. And I think, I don't know how you feel about it, but it seems like to me, there's been a lot of stuff on the table for the last 3 weeks since the 20th or that time period. But compassion.
Oh, massive.
Compassion is really, really, and not in it's just seeping in, it's like, and I'm not just saying about myself, although that may just be the way I perceive everything, but so it looks all different because I'm changing, but it's just like compassion seeping in, and in a way it never has as been so loud, I guess, has been the compassion for self. Like, so when these things come up, the first place I go is, okay, I've got compassion for me for thinking that or feeling that or judging that, and then transforms, and then I go to say it's another person, and it's gone. It's
yes,
like
of course.
I don't have to work for
there. You don't have to work with it. No, your awareness.
Yeah.
You are full compassion.
Yeah.
And when you're in your heart, there's nothing that exists but compassion and love. Yeah. And you don't see any harm in anything, because you know that it's just everything. People think that love is just the feeling they get nice off somebody. No, love doesn't feel like that. Love feels torturous. Love can feel the worst thing in the world if we don't feel it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Everything will feel agonizing to us if we don't feel love for ourselves. Everything hurts. Seeing somebody in love will hurt. Seeing somebody arguing will hurt. Everything reminds you of your own trauma. But once you've healed your own trauma, then nothing reminds you of your trauma, because you don't remember it. You feel it. So everything then is just in a state of knowing, when you don't see your compassion for humanity, then is full, it's whole.
Yeah.
I have nothing but compassion for everything that's living. Everything that's living is sacred to me, because I'm sacred and I am everything. So it's only if I forgot that I am sacred that I would then again take to another judgment stage. But I can't go back, because now I am. It's like trying to unride a bike. Once you're in your heart, you don't disremember that you're in your heart.
At this point, at this point in the game, if you want to go back, you're going to have a hell of a quick and heavy price to pay. And I say that, I mean, it's you can't. I mean, we've come too far collectively. There's really no, I hate to put it this way, but there's no room for it. It's just not going to happen, even if you try to do it. It's like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. It's not going to work.
It definitely would. You just won't be able to do it. You can't go back on energy. If your energetic field, like it's like I can't drink at the moment. I just cannot get alcohol into my system. It's like I want to regurgitate it, take it back up. And I like to have a drink now and again. I like to go out with my friends, but I'm struggling to do it. But I know I will be able to. I'm just at the moment
You know, you'll be able to, or is that a
Yeah,
judgment?
of course I will. I'll definitely get there.
Or maybe it's a square
I won't
peg.
be able to drink, yeah, I won't be able to drink like I do because I can't. But I at the moment, it is getting used to being in this heart because I haven't been fully in my heart for only a week.
And that really in the you know, in the whole context of the most profound things are the simplest things. Less is more. Is you know, all the stuff about, you know, whether it be QAnon or Trump or spaceships or religion or philosophy or Zen or whatever. It's really as simple as like you're talking about for the last hour. It's
Yeah, it
just
really
going
is.
back
What we
to
all think.
going back
What
to
did
the
we all
heart.
think, Todd? We all thought that we had to do this, do that. Ascension is this, ascension is that. It literally is just getting into your own heart. That's all it is. It's the hardest thing to do. I'm telling you, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. But now I'm here, I'm like, wow, it's really easy. If somebody was
She just scared the living shift out of me, man. Felt like there was because things like that happen here. Not to mention the other night she turned into a dragon, and I shift you not, okay? Literally morphed into a dragon, and her claw.
That's a power. It's probably Kali. It's a Kali power. That's Kali.
Oh no, it was
primal.
It was that primal, sensuous, sacred, sexual, vibrational stuff you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It was,
do you know that's where our dark is? It's like we have to get used to because that fear is only the fear of our primalness. You know, it's like would we be scared if we had to go back into the spore stage, which we have come from? Well, nobody would want to be a mushroom.
I got no problem with it. I got none. I tell
you what, I had to, you know, one of my fears was I had a phobia over slugs. So when I went into heart, which was really interesting, what should be waiting for me the next morning, but a slug, it must have been that big, and I stood on it, Todd, and I just jumped up, I looked down and I thought, oh, a slug, this is really weird. I picked it up and I carried it and I put it near the soil because it had been raining. And then when I walked into my house, I washed my hand, and then something in my mind said, what have you just done? And I'm like, what have I just done? And then I went, oh, wow, I picked a slug up. That was one of my phobias. I could never have done that. And I just did it because it's a living thing. And now I'm in my heart. Everything is like, even the birds and everything communicates with you. You know, when you're in your heart, like everything is you then.
Absolutely. Well, you don't be such a stranger for so long.
No, I'm back now. You know, my internet got cut off. My phone. I lost everything.
Are you still? I'm just curious. Are you still doing one-on-one sessions with people? Do you ever work with people?
Yeah, of course I am. But I've had a break of everything. I just had a 4-week.
Are you open to people contacting you for?
Yes, of course. I'm back now. I'm going to set up.
Now I don't know which Linda Scott profile they would tag you or try to message you on.
Well, I've got to. Most people are on this now, but I'm going to set up a healing group, and then this will be no charge. This is nothing, and that is just a pure place where I can send them energy, and I can what I can do now is I just close my eyes and I can literally scan them. I can scan the chakras. I know where they've got blockages, and that's where I can push them into their own chakras.
Well,
once you're doing that, you can scan your own chakra system and you can stay there and study yourself. And that's what I want to show people how to do.
Well, keep us informed. Keep us informed. Definitely. And thanks for spending an hour with me again.
You're welcome. Lovely talking to you, Todd. It was just like me and you sat in the living room.
That's the way it's supposed to be, man.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
It really is. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be from my perspective, anyway. But I always enjoy.
When you get to this stage, Todd, it's like you've done. You know, it's like all that dimensional stuff and all this. It's like you just get took back to yourself, your purity, yourself. You know.
Yeah, and the heart.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
You take care, all right? I'll see you.
Thank you so much. I will speak soon. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.